Assalamu alaikum. Okay. I'd like to welcome you to Mr. Quick's online video lesson.
Not misunderstand, but understand and my affection for the land. I never said the land was mine to do as I chose. The one who has the right to dispose of it is the one who has created it. I claim the right to live on my land and accord you the privilege to live on yours. You too are king. King Joseph.
Today begins the first day of the third quarter in our mission to learn how to analyze literature. And we're going to start with the very first literary selection that we had to take a look at this year. Although I think I skipped this one, and we started with Of Plymouth Plantation. So in turn, I'm going to skip Of Plymouth Plantation and start with this. And of course, you're going to read this one tonight. But I want to remind you of the format in which we analyze literature in this class. We're going to be doing a lot of reading this quarter and a lot of analyzing of what we read. And the only way that we can be successful in that is that you have to come to class prepared, meaning that you have to read before you come to class. Now, if your goal as an 11th grader is to get any type of significant score on the reading, and I don't like to call it the reading section, the critical reading section of the SAT, then you're going to have to learn how to analyze what you read. But learning how to analyze it by itself is not enough to get a good score on that section of the SAT. You have to learn how to analyze it the way that has been put forth in the American curriculum. And the way you do that, or the way you practice that, is you use literary analysis focuses in order to analyze literature. That's the practice. And that's what we do in this class. We did it last year. We're going to do it this quarter a lot. And this is where we're going to begin. The Way to Rainy Mountain, a very dear selection, dear to my heart, because it speaks to a part of my heritage. And the author, Mr. Momaday, is a very good author when writing about Native American history and things like this. Very excellent selection. So, did we forget? I hope we didn't. Now, when we analyze literature, there are some questions that I want you to be able to answer in general. And those questions are: who is the author? What is the focus? When did the story take place? How does the focus relate to the selection? And why was the selection written? Now, these are just in general questions that you should be able to answer when you come to class from preparation. However, of course, these aren't the only questions that you're going to have to deal with when we go over these selections. But these questions are going to remain the same till the end of the quarter for all selections. We'll be able to answer these questions. Now, this quarter you'll have an excellent opportunity for bonus. The bonus will come from our class discussions. because this class is small, I will be able to each lesson determine whether each one of you read the selection. Now, if it was 20 people in this class, you may be able to hide. But because there's not, I can guarantee you, you're going to get asked a question. I can guarantee you, each individual is going to be asked a question concerning this selection. Actually, I think, no, you know what? I can guarantee you're going to be asked 2 questions. That's how few it is in here. So you're going to have to really be prepared. Really be prepared. Okay, here we go. Background information. Let's make a long story short. That is not information that is contained within the selection. That is information surrounding the selection, such as when the author wrote it, when the author lived, what time period, what was happening in the world during that time, so forth and so on. Now, usually you would have to do some research in order to get that. For you, it's easy, because on the first page of each selection, on the left side, you have build the background or background information. All you have to do is read that paragraph. And when I ask 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe 5 of you the question, give me some background information, you should be able to answer that. Just using that paragraph. So that's really all you have to do. Now, if you want to do more than that, that's where bonuses come in. If you want to tell me something that's not over there. Okay? So that means that you have to read that first page. You have to read that first page. Next, of course, is going to be a very easy question. And that question, usually, I ask the person who I know without a doubt read the selection. And that is, who is the author? And in this case, of course, it is Mr. N. Scott Momaday. And each week, don't wait for me to say it, you have to do research. You have to find some information about the author. Most of these authors are still alive. And I like that. I like going over literature where authors are still alive. Because you'd be surprised. You might find a website that the author made on the internet. You might find a video that the author is in. I mean, you know, it's very, very nice to be able to actually meet an author that's alive that you had to read. That's really nice. So most of these authors are still alive that we're going to cover. Yeah. Okay, maybe half. Okay, now moving right along. The big biggie for what we're doing here as far as analyzing literature is the focus. Because each selection has its own focus. It could be plot, it could be theme, it could be setting, it could be imagery, and you use that focus and you keep it in your mind as you read. And as you read, when you find examples of, say, the focus is setting, you find examples of setting. Each time you see an example, I would make a notation of it. Yes? Well, actually, the focus for this selection is setting. Now, in class, when I ask you a very simple question, I'm going to say, Muhammad, what's the focus? Speak. What's the focus? Setting. That's all you got to do. That's it. I'm not asking nothing else. It's not rocket science. That's all. But you have to answer the question. Now, I'm not asking you to tell me what setting is. I'm not asking you to tell me, you know, anything. But what is the setting? If you give me more information, possible bonus points. Okay? Very simple. But you have to know the focus. You have to, everybody has to know that focus. Setting. Okay. Well, let's listen to our friends. Just for a moment. Oh, sorry.
I'd like to welcome you to Mr. Quick's online video lesson.
Okay, all right. Well, 3 minutes now. Yeah. Okay.
Because she's not here that time.
The first quarter.
Yeah.
Okay, the school. I know.
So that's up to you that you're going
You have
to
to sign
Okay, the reason why I did that is because the school did not talk to me about what we're going to do. The school told them something, didn't tell me anything. As a teacher, I can't.
You have to sign it,
Uh-huh.
and after that she have to change it.
Okay, and I'm signing it for.
She said, it's up to you. You have to start from the second quarter, not the first quarter. You're not supposed to count.
Because she's not here.
Okay, so that's the point I'm trying to make. As a teacher, I can't just give you credit for first quarter. What did they tell you when you came here?
Yeah, and no problem. She's
They
not
said
allowed to
they're
get
going to
an
start.
Then Miss Celan, it's all on her.
She just said it's all you.
See? But it's all on Miss Celan.
Okay, what are you going to do today?
Uh-huh.
Keep this one, you have to talk to her. He's coming tomorrow too.
No, you should tell them. Said Mr. Quick said.
Well, like,
She's
skip a branch. She's like, Mr. Quick is supposed to
Sign.
count the second quarter.
No. Tell her that I know nothing about that. Whatever they do is up to them.
Excuse me, and
This whatever they do is up to them.
okay, we're coming tomorrow. What
Okay.
did she say today?
So you know what? Actually, probably let's all sit down and talk about that because they told me nothing.
Okay, will you keep it? Okay.
No, you keep it. You keep it. Just bring it tomorrow.
Attitudes and behavior for their whole lives. And I think there are at least three sources.
Okay, that's enough. We saw that before, didn't you? You remember last year we saw that? You remember? Okay, at any rate, that video is on the website. Feel free to go look at it and the other ones. These are the experts like professors and they can tell you all good stuff. That's good. Okay, we don't have time to finish that, so let's move on. Okay? How does the focus relate to the selection? That's the big deal. This is how we analyze the literature in here. You need to take, for instance, setting. And you need to ask yourself as you read the selection, how does this focus relate to what I am reading? Yeah, I know. That's why I'm using it as a. So, as you read and you come across examples of setting, I would note them. And I would try to understand how is the author using setting to help get his message across. How is this focus setting? How is it helping him? And that's the big deal. Tonight, I know you maybe have read it before. Tonight I would like for you to go home and read it again. And do the selection sheets. And do the story map. And I would like for you to do that for this selection and the next one. So you got 2 selections to do tonight. Just go to the, where on the website, and it should be 1 and it should be 2, or 1 and 3. Yeah, 2 selections tonight. All of about 5 pages. It's only about 5 pages to actually read. So it's very easy. So, yes. But let's deal with this selection. It's so close to my heart. Yes.
So now we can. I'd like to welcome you to Mr. Quick's online video lesson.
Understand both and my affection for the land. I never said the land was mine to do as I chose. The one who has the right to dispose of it is the one who has created.
People call themselves human beings, or people, or basically us, and everybody else known and unknown.
Okay, very interesting documentary. You can see it on the website if you like. It's very, very interesting. I think you will enjoy it. It's part 1 of about an 8-part series. Maybe when I get time, I'll put all the parts so you can check it out. But this is really, really interesting. You're going to read this tonight, and we're going to, well, possibly we are going to go over it tomorrow, because we really want to find out how the author uses setting to get across to us whatever message he's trying to get across. So this is what you should be focused on as you're reading. And, you know, keep in mind that this quarter is all about reading. And this Alia's reading mania. In addition,